Hello everyone, it's Lord Potatoes and today we're going to review chapter 309 from My Hero Academia. If you want more content like this, please consider to subscribe. The chapter starts when we see Deku carry muscular in his hands. We infer from that Deku successfully defeated muscular in the last chapter, like we thought. Also, it's pretty cool to see him fly like that in the distance. He really looks now like a superhero. Tatami noticed that Deku is leaving and she is a bit sad that she didn't get to thank him. The citizens help Tatami to carry Shindo to get him medical help. They are a bit more cooperative, but they still don't fully trust the heroes. Shindo opens his eyes for a moment and he sees Deku and he recognizes him from the exams. But he says that he doesn't feel like the same person. This is again a way for Horikoshi to show us how much Deku has changed. It's not just his appearance, it's also his behavior and other things. Deku hands muscular over to the police and fly away immediately. They don't recognize him because all of the smoke, and again gives me the same vibes of the superheroes of the modern times like Spider-Man or Superman, who doesn't want their identity to be revealed. Deku gets back with a stylish landing and All Might is waiting for him there. It seems that All Might has taken the role of Alfred in Batman. He is helping Deku behind the scenes and give him some advice along the way. All Might asks Deku then how are his arms, and Deku says that they are fine. And we learn that Deku is using a support gauntlet that helps him to utilize One for All with less strain on his body. All Might gets a call from Hawks, and of course his ringtone is just him saying I am here repeatedly, and I think it's pretty funny that he's using his own phrase as a ringtone. We see in the background behind Hawks that Best Genius is catching a villain, most likely an escapee from Tartaros. Hawks tells All Might to rely on him and the other heroes more, because no matter how much overprotective All Might will be, he can't do it alone. We then cut to a flashback of Deku a month ago in the hospital. We learn that his hands recovered because he got stronger and because most of the damage was external. I appreciate that Horikoshi finally answered our question of how Deku can use his hands after what happened in the war, but I think it's a bit too convenient and this is his way of going back on what he tried to do at the start of the show. Back to the chapter, Deku's mom understands that something is wrong, which leads to All Might finally telling her the truth about One for All. Surprisingly, she's taking it pretty well, considering her son should save the world and that he can die in the process. The situation now is that his class knows about One for All, and his mother knows about it, and even some of the heroes knows about it. Overall, I really like this new dynamic and I wish to see more of it in the story. Deku's mother asks what happens next, and just as All Might is about to say that Deku is going back to UA, Deku interferes and says that he will not go back to UA. He says he doesn't want Shigaraki to track him down in UA and it will hurt his friends and family because of that. Deku's mother beginning to understand what is happening and starts crying, telling him to stay and that he's not in a state for fighting, because eventually she doesn't want him to die, of course. Deku says that he will get stronger and hugs her, and we get to see a really beautiful panel of him hugging her while saying he needs to save people, as Izuku might, of course. A reference to when he was younger. Also, we see that when he was younger she wrapped her arms around him, but this time it's the opposite, symbolizing his growth, and now he will be the one to protect her. All Might is watching all of this from the side and he remembers his promise to watch over Deku, so he tells him that because he can't stop him, he will join him. Then we get to see another really beautiful scene when Deku goes to visit Gran Torino. He tells him about the situation with Nana and Shigaraki, and Gran Torino says that killing can be a form of salvation. And again, this brings up the topic of killing villains like we talked about in chapter 305. And if you want to see more about this topic, I urge you to watch this video. Gran Torino then hands over his cape to Deku, and for me this is a symbol for him and trusting Deku with his mission, what to do with Shigaraki and whether or not to kill him. At the final panel we see Deku with all the other 3 top heroes, and we see also All Might with them, and we understand from this and from another panel that their plan is to use Deku as a bait, and when Shigaraki will catch up to him, they will help him to defeat Shigaraki. Overall, I really enjoyed this chapter, mainly seeing the interactions with Deku's mother and Gran Torino, and also seeing him in another light as a superhero. I was Lord Potatoes, and if you enjoyed, please consider to subscribe, and I will see you next time.